Hey guys, Anders here with another video. Today we're going to take a look at the changes to Awaken Drakania on release. A lot of things have changed. They're not in the patch notes, so I tested them myself. But if you were wondering if the combo video I released is still relevant just a day after, it is still useful, it's still relevant. Only two things have really changed. I've updated the comment over there letting you know what the minor changes were, but thankfully all the combos still work in this patch. Now with that said, there's a lot of skills to go through, so let's start with Cloud's Strife. It now has 10% more damage in PvP and 18% less damage in PvE. This is a skill that was very good in combos, but the damage nerf to PvE is, I think, way too much. Crackling Flame now deals less damage in both PvE and PvP, which is fine. I think the skill doesn't do a lot of damage to begin with, but we no longer have a knockdown CC. Instead, it is now a stiffness CC, which is not great. It's a rough change. We no longer have a quick way to re-CC our opponents, and now you really need to rely on tip of the scale in Dragonblood form, which thankfully I already have as an option in my combo guide. Doombringer, great skill, one of our best skills, now deals less damage in both PvP and PvE. Now the 200% BSR version does deal a little bit more damage in PvP, but again, kind of hate to see a key skill in PvE nerfed in damage. And Extinction, one of our other best skills in PvP and PvE. It's actually our PvP combo finisher. Now that deals 15% less damage in PvP and 10% less in PvE. Maybe the nerf was justified for PvP because it did do a lot of damage, but again, nerfing it in PvE makes no sense. Now Flow Dragon Flight. This really cool flying skill that we have, it has been changed drastically, mostly nerfs unfortunately. So now we consume more stamina in the flight phase, we descend faster if we use this over high altitude, and the animation speed of the skill overall is slower. Now we did have one buff, which is a farther straight line distance. Now to show you the difference, I have compiled some comparison clips so you can see for yourself. So as you can see, the skill is a little bit worse than before. It still feels alright, but haven't used a better version on test server. I prefer how it worked before this change. Hopefully they do something, because that is one of the more fun aspects of the class. Being able to fly like that is really cool, and I'm not really sure why you would nerf a movement skill like that. Maybe they were worried about node war implications, but again, other classes can do something similar, or just have a Pegasus and you can do it on any class, you know? So I'm not sure what their mentality is by nerfing that skill. But let's move on to other skills. Savage Decree, 11% less damage in PvP, 19% less in PvE. Another key skill nerfed in damage, not good. Spiteful Decree, one of our hardest hitting skills in Dragonblood form, got some slight PvP damage nerfs, but 22% less damage in PvE, which I don't like. Storm Piercer, a nice AoE damage skill, only got some slight nerfs in PvE, which is good. Sundering Roar now deals more damage in PvP, which is nice, but 21% less in PvE, and a 2-second cooldown reduction, which is always nice to see. Now overall, I'm actually not too mad about this change, since in PvE, you're only really using this skill every other combo. The 2 seconds less is not really going to change that. More damage in PvP is nice if you want to use this as a finisher. Tectonic Slam, 100% deals a little bit more damage in PvP. Kind of irrelevant, I think, in PvP if you want to use 100% BSRs for this class. I just won't do it. The normal skill deals a little bit more damage in PvP, but 18% less in PvE, which I really can't explain. Tip of the scale now has a lot more damage in PvP, which is good since we want to use this now for a knockdown CC in Dragonblood form. A little less damage in PvE, but we also gain a link for Markthanen's Wings. Now, that makes it pretty fast, but the skill is unprotected. So while the link is good and I like the animation, I don't know how useful it is outside of maybe a PvE pack engage. Now, Fate Beckon's 50% BSR has not been touched, which is good. This thing is underrated, but we're not going to talk about it too much in case the nerf team for PA is watching. Their normal Fate Beckons has a little less damage in PvP, but not much has changed there. Aerial Burst now does more damage in PvP and 10% less in PvE. Crackling Flame now deals 10% less damage in PvE, but it's mostly a cancel skill, so damage nerfs are not really a a big deal for this. Concealed Claw now deals more damage in PvP and 15% less in PvE. You're going to start noticing a pattern here with Hexblood skills. We're getting more PvP damage for them, but less PvE damage, which is good for PvP since the combo I use is untouched, but also means we're going to be struggling a little bit at Hex and Quint Hill if we use the Hexblood skills for the forward guards and healing. Flow Obliterate does more damage in PvP, but 20% less in PvE. That one hurts. It's a good skill to use. Hate to see it nerfed in PvE damage. Savage Decree deals more damage in PvP, 15% less in PvE. Spiteful Soul, nearly the same, 3% more in PvP, 18% less in PvE. Now, Storm Maul no longer has super armor on the attack. This was your frontal dash. It had iframe into super armor. Really good skill. But now, instead of super armor on the attack, we get floating CC in PvP as well as PvE. Now, all the cancels still work for the skill, so you can still use the iframe dash into, say, Bond, Tectonic Slam for protected movement and engages, so it's not the end of the world, and we now do more damage in PvP and less in PvE, which kind of sucks a bit since we do use the skill to engage some packs. Now, the link to Mark Thunen's Wings was removed. It's not really a big deal. What they've done is change the link to your normal awakening attack, your normal basic attack. So if you use Mark Thunen's Wings, you can use right click to do a forward charge attack that can float CC as well. Removing Storm Maul from that link allows you to basically do the dash for movement or the floating CC without putting Storm Maul on cooldown. So it's a good change that they actually took away the link, since they took out super armor and gave floating CC on Storm Maul anyway. Sundering Roar now deals 2% more damage and 27% less damage in PvE. I just have no words for this one. Storm Piercer now deals 3% more damage in PvP and 20% less in PvE. Tectonic Slam 100% BSR got a little bit more damage in PvP, but again, irrelevant. I don't think you should be using this. The normal version got slightly more damage in PvP, but no changes really to PvE because you can't really nerf the skill for PvE damage because it just didn't do a lot of damage to begin with. Luckily, we did keep our evasion debuff on the skill. Tip of the scale now deals less damage in both PvE and PvP. Down Smash was also removed from that fourth attack, which I mentioned in my combo video was something you didn't want to do anyway, so this actually allows us to do the fourth attack and follow the rest of the combo if we want for a little bit more extra damage. Legacy was also changed to do 5% more damage in PvP, but that's a nothing change. I don't even know why you would do that. You're not really going to be using this to transition from Dragon Blood to Hex Blood in front of an opponent that has a grab. It's just a bad idea. And finally, Mark Thunen's Heart, our passive, has changed. It now only gives us healing from our pre-awakened VSR, so our 100% and 200% in pre-awakening, and Mark Thunen's Scale, our PA skill. This means we can't switch to pre-awakened for some healing outside of using Scale. The passive works as we are used to right now before the maintenance in succession, so nothing has changed for succession as far as I can see, but for awakening, we have less healing in pre-awakening. And that's all the awakened Drakania changes this patch. I was really not expecting such drastic PvE damage nerfs, but I'll be able to grind to my Drakania after maintenance and see how it feels for myself. If you want me to test different zones or certain areas, let me know which ones, and stay tuned on the channel for some more awakened Drakania videos. Let me know what you think of the changes in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.